Let's talk about what I find to be the biggest and most pressing news in college baseball, which is that according to Andrew Baggerly of The Athletic, Tony Vitello, Tennessee's head coach, is what he described as a dark horse candidate, a wild card candidate for the San Francisco Giants job opening. The Giants recently parted ways with manager Bob Melvin, leaving an opening in their dugout. One of the names mentioned in Baggerly's story was Tony Vitello. I'm just going to come right out here and say it. I would think that would be a major surprise at this point if Tony Vitello ended up as the San Francisco Giants manager. I'm not saying it's impossible, but after conversations with several sources, I have learned that if there have been conversations, they have been very, very minimal. I would even lean towards at this point there being very little conversation between the two sides with regard to the role. But, you never know, and it does bring up an interesting point. Are we in an era with the speed that college players are reaching the major league level that some of these top-notch college coaches could find themselves in major league dugouts? I don't think we're that far off from it. I don't think that this is the example that is going to end up becoming, kind of the landmark transition that starts to open the floodgates a little bit, if you will. But I do think it's something that could happen soon. I just don't think it's Tony Vitello.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought it was really interesting to see reported, and it kind of got my wheels turning in my head a little bit about how that would look, and the comparison between the two. Obviously, managing the San Francisco Giants as opposed to being the head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers, there are some similarities, but also a whole lot of differences. So it'd be an unorthodox, outside the box type of hire. But like you said, I didn't really spend a whole lot of time thinking about it because, simply put, I would be floored beyond belief if it ends up coming to fruition. And that's not an indictment on Coach Vitello. He's one of the best college coaches in the game. I just don't think that it'll happen right now. But like you said, it was interesting to just see it mentioned and kind of kicked around.
And I do still think, to reiterate one more time, that we are getting closer to a point in college baseball where I think some of the best college baseball coaches are going to start to find their ways into major league dugouts. Whether that's as a major league manager or not, I don't know. That's a really big step. And it doesn't happen very often like it does, maybe slightly more occasionally on the college football or basketball ranks. Baseball is a little bit different. We do see assistant coaches make the jump quite frequently. And in recent years, we've actually seen a lot of professional coaches become college coaches. So the pipeline is very interesting in our sport, Peter. We'll see how much it continues to evolve over the next couple of years. I think NIL is going to be a factor that pushes coaches to maybe make some decisions to move on to the professional ranks if they have the opportunity. But again, not a knock on Tony Vitello in the slightest. It's not a matter of his candidacy that I think is going to keep him out of this job race. I just think it's such a long shot in terms of where the Giants are at in their process, maybe some of the people who they're considering, and just how Tony Vitello has been engaged with the Giants to this point. I know that he has a good relationship with people in that organization, and they probably have had some sort of conversation over the course of the last month with regard to maybe his former players. Drew Gilbert in particular has made some noise and become kind of a spirited leader very quickly in San Francisco. I'm sure that has been a conversation. Whether or not the managerial position, though, has been discussed, I don't know that it's been that intense, and I don't think it'll get that intense. But we'll see. And it's worth mention on the pod.
A question, and it might be kind of a stupid one. Sure. Do you think Coach V would even want to? He's got a pretty great thing going at Tennessee. He's built that program to be where it is today. They're a national powerhouse. They compete for a national title year in and year out. They're a machine. I don't know if he'd even want to leave that.
It's tough. I think on one hand, yes, and I believe anybody would if you're in baseball for two reasons. One, I think Tony Vitello has kind of accomplished whatever, the most that you can accomplish already in a very short time at the college level. He's won a College World Series. His team is one of the best in the SEC. And by the way, I think it's notable that he turned Tennessee from kind of zero to hero in the SEC. So a turnaround project in a conference where that's really, really hard to do. And so maybe there is some line of thinking I've done it and I can get out of here while the NIL is still kind of picking up as there's a lot of uncertainty in college sports. Do I opt in for something with more stability? The second thing I would add is that there is something to be said for the opportunity to go win a World Series, not a college World Series, but the real deal World Series. That's kind of every baseball person's dream. But I do think that for some coaches who have this dynasty potential in college baseball, the appeal to leave is probably not terribly strong. I'm talking about guys like Jay Johnson. Do I think that Jay Johnson, if he got the San Francisco Giants offer, would be on the next flight to San Francisco from Baton Rouge? No, I don't think so. I think that he would probably be very invested in what he has going for him right now. They're two-time national champions in the last 3 years. Is it the best opportunity to go and try and, bring a major league club out of the mud after, several years now of not performing to the standards of what that club has been historically? Probably not. I don't know that it's that appealing. But listen, I do think Tony Vitello would be a really good emotional fit for that club. They're young. They're trying to get better. They need somebody who's going to come in and be spirited. I think he checks every single one of those boxes. He's proven that he can turn a team around and win quickly. It is a completely different ballgame, though. Managing a major league team versus a college team, and whether or not somebody who's had a tremendous amount of success. He's the second highest paid coach in the sport for a reason. Is this the right opportunity to jump on? I'm not sure. It's not for me to say. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that it would be considered, is the way I would put it. I don't know that it would be something that he or several others in his stratosphere of college coaching would go racing towards. You agree?
Yeah, again, I'd be real shocked if it ends up happening. It's, I'm with you that he has the intangibles and managerial and leadership qualities to have success really in any role in which he finds himself. I think he's a little bit of a chameleon in that way, and in the most positive of ways, because it's, the buy-in that he gets consistently year over year is really impressive, and the results speak for themselves in a business that is results oriented. He's the creme de la creme, but the season is you go from 52 to 55-ish plus games to 162. It's a little bit of more of a revolving door with the number of players you're going to have. The personalities obviously are a little bit different, perhaps more egotistical, albeit though in the NIL era, everyone's egos are coming out in one way or another. But again, I don't think it ends up happening when all is said and done. But the fact that he was even mentioned and it was reported on is, it means that it's a non-zero possibility. The reporter who reported it from The Athletic, he's the real deal. And it's also a testament to what Coach Vitello has done and how highly he's regarded in the space, and rightfully so.